Assalamu alaikum. Hello, and to all the listeners. We hope that you all are in the best of health and spirit. Before we formally begin our chat today, I would like to introduce our listeners very quickly to Consonant Corporation and Code Girls. Sean, for you also, I think Consonant and Code Girls have not been introduced so far very formally. So I'll come to the introduction as well, and his organization's introduction he will give himself. But let me just start with Consonant first. Consonant is an IT training institute that was started more than 2 decades ago, and since then we have trained over 30K students and professionals with the purpose of bridging the gap between industry and academia among our programs. So, Codegirls is one of our programs, and luckily it has become a flagship program, although Consonant has been running for 20 years and Code Girls just started back in 2018. But somehow it has gained popularity. Code Girls is a women-only coding bootcamp और इसके अंदर हमारा जो पर्पस है वो सिर्फ यही है कि जो अपॉर्चुनिटीज लैक कर रही थी जहाँ पे हमारे पास प्लेसमेंट्स की लैक हमारे पास ट्रेनिंग की अपॉर्चुनिटीज कम थी और हम ये देख रहे थे कि जहाँ पे अपॉर्चुनिटीज होती हैं वहाँ पे there's certain kind of a gap. या तो financially women are not able to bridge that, or location wise they're not able to bridge that. So Code Girls में हमारा aim बस यही है. And it's basically it comprises of we have phase 1 जिसमें हम content development की training करवा रहे होते हैं उसमें हमने Python भी include किया हुआ है. Then there is phase 2. Phase 2 has multiple tracks. Students can choose between which track they want to do after having done their content training, and they can also do multiple tracks. One of phase 2 का एक ट्रैक करने के बाद एटलीस्ट वो फिर उसके बाद फ्रीलांसिंग का बूट कैंप कर सकते हैं which consists of hand holding sessions with mentors जो आपको Upwork और Fiverr के ऊपर काम करना और clients gain करना सिखा रहे होते हैं. अभी तक हमने फेज 3 का एक ही कोहॉर्ट रन किया है. ज़्यादा फेज 2 पे अभी तक फोकस है ताकि पहले हम स्किल्स डेवलप कर लें और फिर जब एक दफ़ा अपस्किलिंग हो जाए तो फिर उसके बाद हम फाइनली मेंटोरिंग लेक्चर को मूव करना सीखें. तो बहुत ज़्यादा वक्त नहीं लूँगी. So yeah, this is a bit about Code Girls and Consonant. हमारा जो पर्पस रहा है थ्रू आउट वो ये रहा है कि हम उन टेक्नोलॉजीज के ऊपर बात करें जो बहुत ज़्यादा कॉमन या फेमिलियर नहीं है लोगों के लिए, स्पेशली गर्ल्स या जिन स्टूडेंट बेस के साथ हम काम कर रहे होते हैं. हम फील करते हैं कि उनके अंदर इतनी ज़्यादा अवेयरनेस नहीं है उन टेक्नोलॉजी एरियाज के बारे में. And Unreal Engine, Sean will agree, is one of those, definitely. Abhi, there is a lot in Pakistan with regard to this particular technology's familiarity. There's a lot of work being done, but Sean is here and he'll tell us, all about it. So how are you, Sean?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. So a bit about what I do. Sabse pehle, Assalamu alaikum everybody. I am Sean Ansari, and I am an Epic Games Unreal Engine training partner, which basically means in a few words that I am somebody involved in heavily pushing Unreal Engine training in Pakistan and in the region. I co-founded a startup called Reality Forge. Reality Forge is basically trying to enable access to Unreal Engine training in Pakistan. Uske baare mein awareness spread karna, to show people that this technology is accessible, to provide that access, and then to also help people understand what is the entry point. Agar unko interest hai Unreal Engine ke baare mein, they want to explore that further, they want to turn that into a career, whether it's freelancing, whether it's working for a larger team in Pakistan or abroad. But gaining those skills is what hum basically help kare logo ko. How can we promote Unreal Engine and also promote Unreal Engine training? So a formal access for Unreal Engine training in Pakistan is what we do. And we are hoping to grow, as we started only in March. Hamara pehla cohort hua tha in March. We have 2 girls and 6 boys in that cohort. And हमारा जो दूसरा cohort है, it's starting in June, and we are hoping to get as many females as we can interested in Unreal, trained in Unreal, and allowing them to create with Unreal. And so if it's okay, can I just transition to my slides?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just go over the slides that we have. So I've already spoken a little bit about myself. I got into the field through
Sean, if you don't mind,
G.
I'll just keep interrupting you, every
Of
bit in a
course,
while,
of
and
course.
then I'll keep asking if I feel that there's something which I am unable to understand, and that's something
Nene,
which
please, please.
others also might need some more clarity on.
Gigi, please, please feel free to interrupt. And if there's any questions, also I can take them as I speak. तो मेरा जो background है वो motion graphics और VFX में है. तो I started, that was my entry point into this field. उसके बाद I started teaching in Karachi at I've taught at Karachi University, Habib University, और currently मैं IOB पे पढ़ाता हूँ. जो मेरा skills जो मैं basically teach करता हूँ, I teach Blender, I teach post production, and I teach abhi bhi I'm hoping to teach a little bit about Unreal Engine in Karachi and in Pakistan. So currently jo hamara focus hai is that we are trying to build a space in Karachi, a space where we can incubate ideas, incubate games, and hamara jo focus hai is to work on games that are not just games, also games that are in Urdu. So localized content, content that is not very large. मतलब छोटे छोटे इंडी गेम्स को हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि हम इंक्यूबेट करें. couple of few teams or few people get together, get inspired, उनके पास स्टोरी है, they want other people to play this story. तो हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि we can be a platform and we can inspire and show these people कि there is an entry point, और अगर आपको नहीं पता how to do it, we are there to help you figure out what is the point of entry for this. So आज का जो basically session था that I wanted to tell people about, which is why I'm here, which was our women's cohort. So Reality Forge is currently जो हमारा cycle है, we run a normal cohort जिसके बारे में आपको बताऊंगा मैं, and we are now starting to explore the idea of a dedicated women's cohort that will run all the time every year, and if there's interest we will increase it to twice a year. The purpose of this cohort is to provide assistance, provide accessibility, and provide a good foundation for female learners that want to come and explore games and real-time production. So hamara jo women's cohort hai, it's going to run in parallel with our second cohort, and that is the focus of this conversation. तो Reality Forge के बारे में, as I had mentioned earlier, हम 2021 में we were founded and we wanted to put Pakistan on the map. और March में we started our first cohort. It was a very small, हमने बस Instagram और Facebook पे we just marketed the cohort, बहुत interest मिला, and फिर we just started the trainings with the students. It was very nice to see that we got a mixed batch. There were 2 girls and 6 boys. And they're from a range of backgrounds. ये नहीं कि they are just professionals या वो सिर्फ students हैं. Everyone comes from a different background. और फिर start करने के I think a few months later we were given a UATC accreditation or a badge, जैसे Epic बोलता है. And a UATC basically means an Unreal Authorized Training Center. तो अगर आप Unreal Engine के website पे जाएंगे and you click on training, you will see that there is a little dot on Pakistan, jo hum hai. So it's very, very humbling to be amongst bahut bade schools hai us map pe, and we're hoping to leverage this to provide even more trainings in the region. Or so abhi hamari jo cohorts hai, it's 12 weeks. During the week hum one class karate hain, so one class a week for about 2 to 3 hours. Or phir during the week students are expected to independently practice. Agar unko kuch problems hote, we help them with that. So a little bit about the subject of today's talk. What is Unreal Engine? I'm sure log honge and learners honge that might have heard it, might have heard about Unreal Engine. But basically Unreal Engine is a game engine. Or game engine, just simply put, जैसे मैंने slide पे लिखा हुआ है, it's a tool that is made up of many other tools to create interactive content, interactive games. So Fortnite, PUBG, or Street Fighter, many games have been made in Unreal Engine. और Unreal Engine जो है एक tool है from Epic Games, जो कि एक publisher है. So many games are being made in Unreal Engine, have been made in Unreal Engine. और अभी I think the statistic, if I'm not mistaken, अभी जो आपकी जो next generation titles है, उसमें कुछ 48% games are being made on Unreal Engine amongst next generation titles. और उसमें बहुत बड़े titles भी are now switching to Unreal Engine. Witcher का नया series is being made in Unreal Engine. Tomb Raider is being made in Unreal Engine. So we are seeing a lot of studios show confidence in Unreal Engine and adopt Unreal Engine. So just to understand a little bit about what is real-time 3D, I prefer talking about this क्योंकि ये एक थोड़ा explanation है कि why now, क्योंकि ये भी एक question आता है whenever I'm talking about Unreal Engine कि काफी टाइम से it's been around. Unreal Engine तो Unreal Tournament पे use हुआ था, but अभी क्यों? What happened? तो हमारे जो current content creation pipeline specifically to 3D is based around rendering. आप अगर कोई भी चीज बनाते हैं 3D में, you place it in the viewport, फिर आपको रेंडर करना होता है इसको. ये वीडियो में भी होता है, ये 3D में भी होता है. I'm sure architects would be used to this. और ये बहुत एक time expensive process है. इस पे बहुत टाइम लगता है, especially it's dependent on your system. अगर आपका system strong नहीं है, so it will take a long time. Unreal Engine जो क्या करता है, it removes the rendering requirement from आपका जो content creation pipeline है. तो अभी यहाँ पे जो मैंने दूसरा slide है, you can see कि जो वो truck है, आपने rotate किया इसको 180 degrees and then it has to be rendered again. तो कोई भी अगर आप client के लिए काम कर रहे हैं, every change has to be re-rendered again. और ये बहुत expensive process है, especially in animated films. एक frame, a single frame is only one frame, लेकिन एक सेकंड में 25 फ्रेम होते हैं या 30 फ्रेम होते हैं. So if that one frame takes 5 minutes to render, just 1 second of animation will take very long. Unreal Engine क्या करता है, वो पूरा रेंडरिंग का जो पाइपलाइन है रिमूव कर देता है इक्वेशन से. सो रेंडरिंग जो है रियल टाइम में हो रहा है बिकॉज इट्स अ गेम इंजन. तो यहाँ पे इस स्लाइड पे अगर आप देखें, द ट्रक इज बिन प्लेस्ड इन द व्यू पोर्ट और वो रियल टाइम में ही लाइट हो रहा है, शैडोज कैलकुलेट हो रहे हैं, रिफ्लेक्शन कैलकुलेट हो रहे हैं, एवरीथिंग इज रियल टाइम. This is very powerful for both clients and you as a designer क्योंकि changes भी real time में incorporate होके can be sent back. And as a designer it's very important because it means कि आप creative decisions very quickly ले सकते हैं because ये चीज़ अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. Normally क्या होता है is that it has to be rendered, but now you can create in real time. तो ये Unreal Engine का और बहुत सारे दूसरे भी engines हैं that also are real time engines. But real time is increasingly becoming the future of content creation because आपके जो systems और powerful होते जा रहे हैं and real time allows faster content. So speed is the key indicator here, which is why real time is something that you should definitely study, learn, and think about in the future if you are in the industry of visual content creation. तो Unreal Engine around the world जो है, जैसे मैंने पहले कोट किया था, it is being used primarily in gaming before. लेकिन अब क्या हो रहा है कि ये गेमिंग से बाहर एक्सपैंड होता जा रहा है. तो अब टीवी एंड फिल्म में भी आ गया है, ऑटोमोटिव में भी आ गया है, और बहुत बड़े बड़े ब्रांड्स आर यूजिंग Unreal Engine as a tool to rapidly create real-time content. So there's been a 601% increase, and this is not an updated statistic. There's been a 601% increase in 3D skill demand. Or a lot of the big titles, a lot of the big games, a lot of the big movies are being Unreal Engines पे use हो रहे हैं. So we can definitely see that there is a big advantage for learning this tool, even if you are not planning on actively using it, just being aware of what is happening in the future of graphics. And then we come back to Unreal Engine and the kind of 7 areas जहाँ पे अब Unreal Engine expand कर रहा है. So games से बाहर architecture में भी अब use हो रहा है, film and TV में भी use हो रहा है, broadcast, animation, automotive, and simulation. Every field is finding a way to use Unreal Engine for their content, for their 3D content. Or with the coming age of the metaverse, I think it's going to be an entry point to create very rapid content. Or all the time, people are finding new and new uses for Unreal Engine, which makes it very important to learn. So looking, because we are in Pakistan, so I wanted to also celebrate कि यहाँ पे companies that are doing great work with Unreal Engine. Quixel जो है Islamabad is based in Islamabad, और Quixel is a global industry leader, not just in Pakistan, not just region, global leader in asset creation. अब assets क्या होते हैं? ये Quixel creates little assets that you can use in Unreal Engine. ये rocks हो गए, आपके 3D objects हो गए, surfaces हो गए. So all of these assets are captured by Quixel's team. ये लोग photogrammetry करते हैं, which is the process of taking pictures from all sides, and then ये जो भी mesh वो build होता है, and then it can be used in Unreal. So Quixel has been anywhere in the world, movies, आपके बड़े बड़े productions पे, बड़े बड़े games पे, Quixel's assets have been used. And every year, every month, new assets are added, और ये सारे assets are free to use with Unreal Engine, because Quixel is a part of the Epic Games network. तो हमारा जो एनिमेटेड कंटेंट प्रोडक्शन है, थर्ड वर्ल्ड स्टूडियोज जो है एक एनिमेटेड फिल्म बना रहे हैं, लेजेंड ऑफ अलायार, Legend of Marco, I might have that wrong, but Third World Studios is working on an animated feature. पूरा animated feature उन्होंने Unreal Engine में बनाया हुआ है. And then visualization in VR में you have Render Lounge. ये लोग their teams build architectural spaces and they do VR views. You can walk through the space in using Unreal Engine to light it. Or blockchain gaming में recently Narsan produced a game in Unreal Engine. It's a blockchain powered racing game. And in simulation and trading, Ziauddin University is using Unreal Engine to do dental training. So we can see ये एक game engine जो है, it starts off as a game engine just as to create content in real time, लेकिन इसका use जो है globally and locally is being expanded outside of the game engine space, which is why it comes back to जो हम बात कर रहे थे about learning these skills, why it's so important. Because these tools, it's not that if you are in the game industry, you should know real-time technology. You can apply your training in Unreal Engine to a range of fields. And this does not have to be with a team. It can be freelancing. It can be on Fiverr, on Upwork. वहाँ पे भी अगर आप search करेंगे, there's a lot of jobs and a lot of tasks available for Unreal Engine developers and visual artists. So it's a expanding network of use cases for Unreal Engine. So jobs in Pakistan, Abhi, just before this presentation, I did a search on LinkedIn for Unreal Engine, and आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे there's a lot of requirement for people. जो हमारा जो startup था was founded on the basis to solve the skill shortage problem in Pakistan of Unreal Engine artists. बाहर बहुत सारे artists मिलेंगे that know Unreal Engine very well and they're using it. लेकिन पाकिस्तान में you don't necessarily find a lot of artists जिनको confidently Unreal Engine use करना आता है. So that is what we are trying to solve over the course of at least 2 to 3 years. We are hoping कि routine cohorts के साथ we can have a very, very talented, formally trained skill pool of Unreal Engine artists in Pakistan. So the program, because जैसे पहले बात किया था मैंने, it's expanding beyond video games. So the jobs are going beyond video games. So metaverse and AR and VR development is definitely a big area of expansion that will happen very soon. So that is also a place that Unreal Engine is going to use. But specifically Pakistan mein, animated feature content and commercials are going to see a big use of Unreal Engine, because ये जो आपके जो बड़े pre-productions होते हैं, they need to know the lighting of the scene या the actor कहाँ होगा frame में. This can all be done in pre-production. So these are fields that I now see that Pakistan will start exploring into, क्योंकि Unreal Engine का एक तो training का access is now available. दूसरा, people are now getting aware that we can use these tools to not render anymore. These are real-time tools. So it's a big there's a lot of scope for it even outside of game development. So हमारा जो course है, just talking a little bit about our course. हमारा जो course है is not it's an agnostic course. So इसका ये मतलब है कि it's not tailored towards game development. It's not tailored towards commercials, films. it's tailored towards 12 हफ्ते में getting you very comfortable with Unreal Engine and comfortable enough कि आप कुछ भी कर सकते हैं in it. Any task that you are given by a client or by a freelance contractor, you can solve it because वो हम एक high level overview देते हैं over everything in Unreal Engine over the course of 12 weeks. During the course आपके पास दो minor projects होंगे और एक major project होगा. दो जो minor projects है, they're lots of fun. आपको एक environment बनाना है inside of Unreal Engine, totally your call. And दूसरा, you have to make a small movie of that environment inside of Unreal Engine. And then आपका एक capstone होता है. The capstone is very open. It depends. The capstone usually हम लोग करते ही हैं कि it depends on the student, what the student wants to gain from the capstone. अगर एक developer focused student है, so we push our students to make games. अगर एक visual artist or a visual sort of concept artist, we push them towards assets and cinematics and level design. So online training and offline training is available. Online can be taken over Zoom and offline training is being done in person in Karachi. अब इस कोर्स का कोहॉर्ट 1 में एक इंटरेस्टिंग चैलेंज हमने फेस किया था कि लॉट ऑफ पीपल वांट टू लर्न अनरियल लेकिन उनके पास सिस्टम्स नहीं है. So right now we are offering a solution for that. If you have access to an internet connection and you want to take our course and you are not in Karachi or you cannot come for whatever reason, you only have 2 से 3 घंटे घर पे. So we're offering the ability to use virtual machines and then you can connect to them. उस पे हम आपको एक VM देंगे जिस पे Unreal Engine install हुआ होगा and then you can just run it from your own home computer. But you will just need a good connection for that. So a full curriculum of every week's topic is available on our website. You can get an overview वहाँ पे. If you are interested in learning the course, हमारा जो second cohort है will start in June, on the 4th of June, and you can get the full curriculum there. Even if you know थोड़ा सा Unreal, you want to brush up on your skills, उस type के भी students or learners आते हैं हमारे पास. We get people that are kind of experienced with Unreal, but then they want to formally get trained on everything in Unreal. Versus YouTube tutorials ढूंढना can be a little bit time consuming, but this is a curated guided learning course, 1-to-1 over 12 weeks. So my last slide before I'm done with my long presentation is the women's cohort, which is the important thing I wanted to talk about, which this team has helped me put together. So Reality Forge jo hai, we are trying to get more female developers in the ecosystem. And what we've decided to do is we have a women's cohort that will run. Initially, we are trying to do this once a year. But if there's interest, we will run it for more than once a year because we are committed to getting more women learners, women content creators in the space. This is not only for Reality Forge. Abhi Epic Games ne bhi recently women's creators program run kiya tha. The women's creators program allows female content creators to take a sponsored boot camp with Epic Games and Asifa India. And वहाँ पे they take a story, वो story को पूरा पहले pre-produce करते हैं and then they create a short film inside Unreal Engine. तो हमारे जो cohort 1 का जो batch था, one girl was selected for this program. They selected 20 females from Southeast Asia and Riza was one of those 20 females from Southeast Asia. So we want to run a similar program in Pakistan. This cohort will be fully sponsored. So it just requires you to have some experience in 3D or some interest to learn in 3D. Even अगर आपके पास कोई भी interest नहीं है, कोई भी experience नहीं है, and you are very interested in learning it, we can help you with that. But there's no cost for the women's cohort. So if you are interested, if you have experience, you're requested to get in touch with us, and then we will start running this cohort. Pura duration hai, it's about 12 weeks. Same as the previous cohort. It's identical to the previous cohort. The only difference in the women's cohort is that it is fully funded. It is fully sponsored. There's no cost. And number 2, because our seats are limited, we're running it. We are giving preference to 2 types of candidates. Candidate number 1 is they have experience, or candidate number 2 is they just have a good system, or they don't require a VM and they want to learn Unreal. So these 2 type of candidates, agar you fit into one of these 2 type of candidates, then you're more than welcome to register with us and we can hopefully induct you into our first women's cohort. And then as requested, first week of June we will start, and then the interviews jo hoga, isko jo process hai, it's quite straightforward. You sign up, you have an interview with me on Calendly. We use Calendly to set up our interviews. You will do an interview with me, and then we will start our training every Saturday from cohort 2 ka we usually run from 1 to 3 p.m. But kuch aise classes hote hain which go to about 4 p.m. So it's 1-to-1, and then outside of the cohort, agar aapko again additional help chahiye, we also offer that as well. So if you need to reschedule another class, we do 1-to-1 trainings as well while you are with us for the 12 weeks. Jo bhi aapko academic needs hain, we will try and fulfill all of them. But yes, the women's cohort has no cost except that seats are limited. So we are hoping, if you are interested and you have access to a machine, or you are interested in Unreal Engine, please get in touch with us. And May ke end pe we will close off admissions. But agar time or chahiye, because this batch is it's a very interesting experiment for us. We are really committed to making this work. If we need to run it in June or July later, we can do that. We're open to it. But abhi ke liye, the registrations will end in May, and we hope to get started in June. And I think that's all from my slides. And if you have any questions, you can go to our website. These are our email addresses. Wahan pe you can register um, for the course, or reach out to us on LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook, and we'll try and get back to you. Cool. Okay. I will switch over.
Okay, that was a very quick and very comprehensive overview of what we could have learned about you, Reality Forge, about Unreal Engine, and I must say that now I have some clarity about what
Okay. I'm happy.
Reality Forge is trying to do. Still, for people like me and for people like, I know there's going to be a lot of queries. कुछ हमने पहले भी responses collect किए थे questionnaire के through, और उसमें जो concern आ रहा होता है, for example, you're saying it's a 12-week cohort. So how much time should I expect to be investing during those 12 weeks on daily basis?
So the way the cohorts
Sorry,
run.
may I add a little? Why I'm asking this is because, for example, there is a mother, there is a college going student, or there's someone like me who's doing a full-time job and she's still learning CD or learning Unreal Engine. How much time do I require to invest so that I make up my mind before I get into it?
There's two kind of points where development happens. सबसे पहले तो during the course, हमारा जो वो class होगा, it's usually 2 to 3 hours, and sometimes 4 hours. That of course is a requirement कि आप class में आए, you listen to what we're talking about. Like, the sessions are recorded. So if you don't have time to attend the class, you can always review it on our LMS. We have like a little learning management system. वहाँ पे you can review the lessons if you don't have the time to come on the day of the lesson. दूसरा, so that is a definite requirement कि आप 2 से 3 घंटे या 1 से 2 घंटे दें to just review what the lecture is. Dusra, as far as independent practice goes, that is a very personal thing that I have realized. It depends from artist to artist. Usually, if the artist is committed to producing एक चीज या वो सिर्फ practice कर रहे हैं, ये, for example, this week we learned lighting in Unreal Engine. We learned how to put lights everywhere. So outside of the class, you don't stop. You take out maybe 1 hour or 2 hours a week, and then you can practice that. So I would say if the student is giving 4 hours a week to Unreal Engine, then the sky is the limit.
Okay. And say, for example, I've heard you throughout the conversation refer to the people working on Unreal Engine as artists. So if I do not need prior brushing up with digital art or any form of art, how good am I to even make a start?
मैंने जो चीज फील किया है with cohort 1 and my previous trainings as well is that we don't realize that our eye is being trained all the time. अब पहले for example, when you would teach a student how to edit, how to edit a video. वो एक proper course होता था, Premiere या DaVinci या जो भी tool है, how to edit a video. But increasingly, because even younger learners that are in schools, क्योंकि उन्होंने इतना content देखा है, how editing works, how it's always on the sound, how it's always cut यहाँ आएगा. Most of the time, people can almost edit natively. So they know कि ठीक है, हाँ ये बहुत drag हो रहा है, so I'll put a cut here, because we are watching movies, we're watching TV shows. Similarly, your eyes are always being trained. So Unreal Engine का या real time, I should say real time 3D का ये भी एक बहुत बड़ा advantage है, is that it doesn't require a lot of time to get to a point that you can start giving feedback to your own aesthetics. For example, if someone like me, I can't draw at all. So if I started drawing, maybe एक घंटा मैं लगाऊंगा to start up something, and then it's going to look very basic. I'm not going to be happy with it. मैं बंद करके I'll go do something else. But with Unreal Engine or real time technology, क्योंकि feedback एक तो complete है, you're just placing objects in the level, you are getting already a very high level of artistic feedback. So someone with no background can produce things in Unreal Engine at all, because it's almost like a sandbox. So
Yeah.
it's a sandbox for you to create content. And हमारे जो cohort 1 में, there were quite a few students that have never used Unreal Engine before. They had never taken a drawing class. They had never taken, they just had frames in their mind कि मुझे ये बनाना है, मुझे वो बनाना है. And then through the process of placing objects in the scene and just seeing it take shape, वो automatically इनका aesthetic and their kind of the playground mixes together. So it's a very exploratory process.
I can, I have collected some ideas about it from your conversation so far.
जी.
Sorry to Sean. That, for example, you out the web page and told us where we can find out about the starting dates and the whole process. May I know the exact geographical address of your location, so that if I'm planning to come and visit and start taking classes, I might have some clarity on that.
बिल्कुल. So right now at the moment we don't have a lab. We're building the lab in Karachi. Since just like I mentioned, we started in March. So हमारा target, I've given myself a hard target कि December तक I want to have a space in Karachi with computers where I can do my in-person trainings. क्योंकि अभी in-person trainings we are partnering up with places that have a lab. Because we just started. So we right now our हमारा जो एक process है to get computers, we have only 2 solutions to that, because जो soft launch का जो cohort था, we said no, if you don't have a system we can't take you now. हम सिर्फ अपने curriculum practice कर रहे हैं कि if it even works, to test the process out, to iterate on it. लेकिन अब right now for cohort 2, we are offering VMs and a space in Karachi to do trainings. What I'm thinking is, once I am able to build this space in Karachi, because it takes time, it takes capital. Once we get the space in Karachi, hopefully, fingers crossed, inshallah, by the end of December, we have a space in Karachi that we can work out of. I want to also then look at how we can leverage that space to train remote people. So space probably December.
Okay. And have you considered, like, for example, I know for a fact that you're teaching as a faculty somewhere, right?
Yes, I'm currently teaching.
Can you please tell us more about that?
Yes, so I teach post production, and I teach Blender 3D at IOBM in Kurangi in Karachi. And
Are they willing to facilitate for you?
yes.
Like
So yes, they've been very supportive. Then in fact they've been very so pushing me to do these trainings as well. And so that's why जब हमारा ये challenge आया था सबसे पहले कि lab नहीं है, so we went around, we looked at a few universities, or they said कि आप you can do the program here. So that's why our in-person classes in Karachi are being offered at IOBM in partnership with them.
मुझे ideas आ रहे हैं, and just I'm thinking out loud, because
No, please do.
We've done this before, and Miss Shamim, as you must know, Miss Faiza and Miss Shamim. Miss Faiza से तो आपकी बात हुई है. I know.
जी.
Miss Shamim, they're the co-founders of the space. मुझे पता है कि they when it comes to starting and experimenting new things, they're all in to support that. मैं ये सोच रही हूँ कि हम शायद आपको ला सकते हैं बड़ी आसानी से. This is like up in the air. I know.
No, of course, of course. I love this conversation.
I'm thinking about it because this is such an exciting thing. और मजे की बात ये है कि वो शान जहाँ पे स्पेस और इन सब चीज़ों की बात आती है, we have that. But एक जो basic awareness है ना around this field, वो अभी build up करनी है, वो अभी इतनी common
Yes,
और वो
yes,
वो उसके इर्द-गिर्द एक यूफोरिया टाइप का है कि ये शायद सिर्फ मर्द कर सकते हैं या इसके अंदर बिल्कुल जुनूनी होके काम करना पड़ता है और बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम इन्वेस्ट करना पड़ता है और
yes.
मैं बीइंग अ गर्ल नहीं कर सकती, पता नहीं किसके साथ काम करना होगा, कौन-सी जगह, कहाँ जाना होगा। तो ब्रेकिंग दोज़ बैरियर्स एंड मेकिंग इट लाइक समथिंग जो कि आपके लिए बहुत ही ईज़िली एक्सेसिबल हो, मेबी दैट्स द वे टू गो अबाउट।
Bilkul, bilkul. That's something that we are working very hard on. And right now the team that we have, it's a very small team because we just started and the team is already
You know,
50% female.
all the crazy teams are very small teams.
I love it. So yes, I agree. And for us, the space is a big thing that we are. It's our next big milestone. हमारा जो पहला milestone था was to get on the map, and once we've done that, now I'm working very hard towards the space. The biggest problem यही है कि जहाँ भी हम जाते हैं, the hardware requirement is very important for Unreal to run. तो उसके लिए अभी we've solved it.
Tell us कि हार्डवेयर रिक्वायरमेंट में क्या क्या चीज़ें आ जाती है सो दैट इवन जो स्टूडेंट्स इस वक्त करना चाह रहे हैं, जो इस जर्नी पे एम्बार्क करना चाह रहे हैं, उनको पता हो कि व्हाट आर्ट्स
जी जी. So basically the computer that has to have a very mid level graphics card. It needs a graphics card that runs this, and ye cheez can be very expensive, especially in Pakistan. These things are very expensive, and usually graphics labs jo hote are Mac. So Unreal Engine has a very specific, interesting requirement. It has to be a graphics machine, but Windows. ये नहीं कि Unreal will not run on Mac. Unreal does run on Mac, but it's based out of Windows and it's more stable on Windows. So ये challenge हमारे लिए बहुत important था. So that's what we are trying to build. We're trying to build a very nice, accessible Windows graphics lab in Karachi, where we can do all sorts of trainings, regardless of background and regardless of gender, where we can have it be a place of like an incubator of ideas. So not so much abhi the thing that students specifically abhi bhi jab main baat karta hu students say A level students and current university students, the scope is still video games. I want them to know that theek hai, video games is very interesting, but where is Urdu in this? Where is the content for our like localized production? How can we do that? Not every game has to be a multiplayer game. It can also be a story, someone's story. You're just playing the story and thank you for playing my story. So I also want to push these ideas with people because they're amazing stories I hear from some of the students. Because मैं वहाँ पे film department में काम करता हूँ, in the media department, some of these stories are amazing, written by students, because it's right now they're students, they can take risks. So what better time to build a space and incubate ideas to make small games, small indie games. And bilkul, the scope is also something that we talk about. The scope is never to be large. We want to incubate indie games. We want to incubate smaller ideas, which teams of 2 and 3, maybe 4 people can get together and make an experience.
Most crazy ideas out being worked in smaller teams. हम कहते थे हमेशा से we used to hear कि all great stuff come in small packages. Now it's all the great teams are small size because we है ना कि
Love it.
spoil the broth. It happens.
Great. Yeah.
सवाल और था तो ये कि community wise अगर मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूँ, is there a community page somewhere where anyone new in marketing journey, especially women, can go and they can find the fraternity working on Unreal Engine. Say Women in Tech PK is one such, in there.
Yes.
तरह का similar कोई Unreal Engine के respect में.
So Unreal Engine has a very. Are you asking about the fraternity in Pakistan?
Yeah, the community page or anything.
There's usually Unreal Engine का जो भी काम यहाँ पे हो रहा है is happening usually on usual forums, Facebook and Instagram, the game development forums. But what we are trying to do is if this becomes a regular occurrence for us, where there's a lot of interest and we are getting support from Epic, if we get all of that in line, so we are looking at making a space even within our Discord, or even a space where other females can network with other women learners, and then they can start working towards studios, teams like that. That's something that very, very entertaining.
Right. Because वो होता है ना कि even if it's not a physical space, you just have a page or somewhere, where you just go and ask whatever you need to
Yeah, yeah,
understand
we have
or
right now.
find the way forward. तो वो
बिल्कुल
एक बड़ा एक
बिल्कुल
अच्छा एक आपको फुट होल्ड मिल जाता है और वहां से फिर आप keep asking question and keep learning.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल we have a very small but active Discord, and I'm going to repeat your words again. So good teams are small. So we have a small Discord. We have a very, very small Discord. People are welcome to come there. All the learners are there. Everyone in our class is on that Discord. Mashallah, we're going to get international students starting next week. We have a batch coming over from outside of Pakistan, from India. And so I invite anyone that's interested in these things to come to our Discord, ask as many questions. You don't even need to be a current learner. Maybe you're learning Unreal on your own time. वहाँ पे अगर कोई problems है तो come, you can ask in our Discord.
Wonderful. एक काम और करते हैं, Sean, since we are already at it, can you please share your screen and show us your website? क्योंकि मैंने आपका वेब पेज खोला हुआ है और
I certainly can.
मैं देख सकती हूँ तो आपकी fee है for a usual cohort that's 30,000 and for
Yes.
that would be 25,000, but it's such an excellent opportunity that you're providing. For the women cohort, it's completely free. So
Yes.
I'm really happy to know that any girls, any women out there जो भी सुन रहे हैं, something you should have.
Yes, we're trying to, because at the same time we are trying to develop this further. So the this is kind of the first experiment to see what type of response we get. How is it running this? How can we do this better? Because I've told many of my peers, I just don't want to do it for the sake of doing it. I want to show that we are committed to helping more women creators come, and even more girls go from our cohorts to whenever the next women's creators program happens. But abhi ke liye, yes, it's an experiment. I hope it runs well. We can delay the induction if needed. If we have to get a batch of 15, no problem. A batch of 10 also will run. A batch of 2 will also run. If there's only 2 signups, if there's only 3 signups, we will induct both women learners into our cohort 1, and we will train them alongside cohort 1. So there's no kind of sort of caps on this. We need at least 5 people to run this, or we need 10 people to run this. Even if one person signs up, that's a win for us. But yes, with cohort 2, जो कि summer cohort है, there's no cost if you are a female learner coming through this program.
Thank you once again. एक चीज मैं और पूछना चाह रही थी. For example, you said that some experience with digital content creation tools is going to be a bonus.
Yes.
You also said that if somebody comes who does not have any prior experience, आप लोग उनको train करने में या उनको जो है वो hand hold करने में बिल्कुल भी कोई मसला नहीं है. I would like to know कि is there a basic cohort? For example, हमारे पास front end is the phase 1 that we are teaching. So there are a lot of queries that so and so person has never been into IT at all, और उन्होंने कभी computer properly use भी नहीं किया, तो क्या आप उनको सिखा नहीं सकते या आप उनके लिए properly एक अलग बना सकते? We sometimes say that this is going to be something कि जो एक extra mile हम कर रहे होंगे, लेकिन फिर हम साल में एक दफा वो वाला cohort चला भी देते हैं कि जिसमें हम सिर्फ basic training करवा देते हैं, so that वो उस level पे आके बाज़ दफा those students outshine more than the ones जिनको पहले से आता होता है. तो वो
Definitely.
कि उनको हमने सिखाया होता है, इस रिस्पेक्ट से सिखाया होता है कि हमें पता होता है कि अभी जब फ्रंट एंड में जाएंगे तो इनको क्या-क्या एक्चुअली सीखने की जरूरत है. So is there
Yes, definitely. We're open to that. Definitely, we're open to that. If there is the way we run our current cohorts also is it's very there's a lot of focus on the individual student, not the batch. So a common query that we currently get is, मैं देखता हूँ कि आपका जो program है, it's very visual based. What about if I want to learn development? So what we do then for that student, we spend a little bit more time. So after the lecture ends, if the student has 2 or 3 hours spare, or during the week, if not on Saturday, on Wednesday they have time, then we schedule a 1-to-1 and we give some individual training there. So especially for if there is a learner that does not have experience in Blender in 3D, then yes, we're more than open to extending the training by 1 month, where we do a boot camp to get you comfortable with what the 3D terminologies are, what is rendering, what are planes, edges, were all the 3D terminology. That's the tools that we use. So hamare, on average, we use Blender for 3D, we use Photoshop, we use After Effects, and we use DaVinci. So we can definitely, if this is something that the women's cohort is interested in learning, we can extend it by, we do by 1 month, where we do a boot camp for 1 month, and then we induct them into the program. It all depends on
Wonderful.
what the learners need.
Wonderful. If one last question and then we'll wrap up, promise. My last question is this कि एक बड़ा हमारे माइंड में ये एक रोड ब्लॉक होता है, हम समझते हैं कि आर्टिस्ट तो वो लोग होते हैं जिनको बस सारी रात काम करना होता है और जिनको सड़कों पे, is that true? With Unreal Engine also, should we expect कि हमें training के फौरन बाद job मिल जाएगी, या there is a long way to go, a long hard way to go before you actually start getting work?
Okay, so the question is a very personal one, so I'm going to answer that with a smile. Yes, I agree that generally, especially in post production, jo mera background hai, the hours are very long, and the changes are many, as it is with any creative field. But as far as placement goes, जैसे मैंने बोला था, पाकिस्तान में there's a skill shortage of capable Unreal Engine artists and developers. So if you are able to quickly get yourself to a point where you can show that I have mastered this course, I've given it a lot of time, I've mastered it, I don't see any reason why getting a job will be hard. As far as the hours and the work life balance goes, I think that that's really dependent on the pipeline you're working in. I've worked in teams just made the hours were very bad, and I worked in teams which is strictly 9 to 5s. So it really depends on the team that you're working on and working with, which is why I'm also trying to push indie development. Indie development is very different than working on a large project, because it's smaller teams working together, and it's a very personal experience making that game. But usually, because Unreal Engine is not just creative, it's a little bit developmental as well. So I would not say that it's as the hours are as long as, for example, if you were working on a film set जिस पे आपको shoot करना होता है, 2-3 night लगाने पड़ेंगे just to finish the spells of the shoot. It's different. ये बहुत different है, but because it's a little bit technical, the answer to that question would largely depend on the team. What is the team? What is the task? If you and I were working on making a very big game in 2 months, फिर तो I'm sure the hours are going to be very bad. But if you are working on a smaller component of that over the course of 3 months, that would be a lot more manageable. But end of the day, getting a job is not difficult. हम लोग we've been talking to a lot of teams in Pakistan that want to employ people that know Unreal Engine, or internationally there's like you had mentioned on Upwork and Fiverr, there's a lot of scope for Unreal Engine freelancing, especially for just asset making ke ek level bana diya, you just hand off that level to somebody. um, so yes, I just think it truly depends how much time the learner is willing to put in this phase, when it's difficult, when it's new, when it's fresh. How dedicated are you towards learning something? It's almost like just I learned Chinese. I'm still not great at it, but initially I thought it would just come to me, so I was not putting in the effort, I was not putting in the hours. But when I started putting in the hours and the effort, I started getting better at it. So it's the same with Unreal. It's like an instrument. The more you play it, the better you get.
Makes complete sense. And आपने मेरे अगले सवाल का भी पहले ही जवाब दे दिया, because you like strictly this was supposed to be the last question.
No, you can ask as many as you
कि
want.
Upwork और Fiverr पे भी हमें jobs मिल सकती हैं, and you just answered that brilliantly.
Yes. Yeah, there's यही होता है. There's the I get queries about this quite a bit, like can I go take on some jobs from Upwork and
Because
Fiverr? But
again वही है ना सवन कि हम agile रहना चाहते हैं. People have to
yes,
move, people have to go abroad, people have to travel. और उस दौरान में इससे अच्छी और क्या बात हो सकती है if you can actually get remote work also. So
Yes, I completely agree. And
wonderful.
because because the other advantage is, I wouldn't say advantage, I would just say the other feature, plus point is, because बहुत सारे teams globally are using the same engine. So you don't necessarily have to make the entire project. You can make a component of that project and give it to another team because सब एक ही engine use कर रहे हैं. And that is why a lot of studios are also switching to this because fraternity बहुत बड़ा है. So maybe one team in Tokyo just needs you to make a gadi or a functioning gadi or a system in which or maybe an environment for some shoot in Singapore or some shoot in Lahore, for example. So because the engine is the same, the sandbox is the same, but the industries are many. That is where the real benefit lies. If you, as a new learner, it's very difficult to stay motivated. So motivation, developing a sense of motivation is important. But if you are motivated, आपके पास एक बहुत active Behance या ArtStation है, and you put up everything there, even the bad work, the good work, you put it there, and you develop a portfolio so that people can see कि, oh wow, this person is very good at nighttime cities. चलो ठीक है, let's contract this person to build an environment for us. And we're already seeing that Unreal Engine is already being used in content, in cinematic content, not gaming content in Pakistan. I believe Peshawar Zalmi used Unreal Engine for their commercials, one of their videos, and people are doing it. People are making those environments. Artists are doing it. So never a better time to get into Unreal Engine and pick it up, learn with us. And then if you are motivated, you are constantly improving your skill set. There is no reason why you will not find work.
Wonderful, wonderful. Let's just close our conversation for today over here.
Great.
All the best, all the very best for your upcoming cohort. And like you said, that you're open to admissions over the year. So I just hope 2022 turns out to be a great year of growth and experimentation and learning for Unreal and for Reality Force, for yourself, for your team. And with that, we'll just sign off.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. And it was a absolute pleasure. Thank
You
you.
were, and in fact, thank you for coming over.
Okay, ठीक है. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.